Few things are as pressure-packed as playing center court in a major championship. Andre Agassi turned professional at age 16. Strong performances on the tour meant that Agassi was quickly tapped as a future Grand Slam champion. While still a teenager, he reached the semifinals of both the French and the U.S. Open, but could never achieve his full potential, consistently losing to lower-ranked players over several years. This inability to achieve his full potential led him to enlist a new coach in 1994, who helped him focus not only on the mechanics of the game, the what to do, but on the art of the game, how to do it. He rose to become the #1 ranked player in the world and became one of the dominant players of his time. It's one thing to learn the rules and techniques. It's another thing to execute at the highest levels when the pressure is on. Like playing on center court, the world of sales has its own pressures. The pressure to sell better and faster is always there and likely won't go away. If anything, the pressure will likely increase as economies continue to change and competition expands. Adopting new and improved processes may help, at least initially, until the sales environment changes again and a new and even better process must be found.
One of our salespeople had a conversation with the head of the sales force of an IT firm. This sales leader described his sales force as heavily invested in a sales process as a way not just to become more efficient, but to increase sales, of course. His salespeople were very good at following the process, and they continued to invest heavily the same resources and time into their deals. Yet, after several years of using this process, the results didn't change much. Instead of being the #5 losing bid, they moved up to the #2 losing bid. But losing is losing regardless of where they come in on the list. Something was still missing.
The tempting response to this pressure is to grab the bull by the horns, which is fine if the bull is the pressure and we're taming the pressure. Often, however, the bull we take on is the customer, and we find ourselves head-to-head in stubborn combat with them. It becomes a contest where we're adversaries with the customer, seeing who can beat the other and win. Consider the following sales-related actions and ask yourself which ones you could emphasize more to deal with both the pressure and increasing your sales. Spend more time proposing. Implement and consistently follow a sales process. Spend more time prospecting. Have more conversations with customers around what they really value. Each of these activities has some impact on sales, but one in particular consistently leads to more closed deals, more satisfied customers, and longer-term relationships. That activity is having more conversations with customers around what they really value. Instead of a face-off with a customer, what sales professionals need is a way to turn the adversarial relationship between the customer and the salesperson into a partnership where the focus is on creating value rather than on winning. Sales professionals need more than a process, more than just the science of closing a deal. They need the art of opening a relationship, of communicating, thinking, and acting with greater authenticity, trust, and integrity to help their customers succeed. Let me just emphasize that last statement one more time. They need to focus on helping their customers to succeed.
We were working with a customer, a solution architect, who was invited by his sales rep to meet with a potential European client to do a demo on an antivirus solution. After having worked with us for several weeks, this solution architect asked the salesperson if he, the architect, could first talk with the customer to understand not just their technical needs, but also their business needs. After talking with the customer, the solution architect found that yes, the customer needed some antivirus help, and yet they needed much more to meet their business needs. Once the solution architect uncovered the needs and saw the magnitude of it, he actually proposed a different solution, which led to a far more successful solution for the customer and turned a 50,000-pound solution into a 500,000-pound solution. By slowing down and focusing on helping the customer succeed, both parties won. We hear these kinds of stories over and over again, and the bottom line is, get out of chasing the deal and focus on helping customers succeed. When we consider the key abilities behind these top performers and what other sales professionals are looking to do, here's what we hear over and over. How do I find new customers? How do I connect with customers? And what do they really value? How do I create momentum around the buying cycle that goes to closure, not just meetings? How do I grow relationships into those where the sales professional becomes a trusted advisor?
Through our decades of experience both interviewing and working with some of the world's best sales leaders and sales professionals, we have found that the key element behind the success of top performers is their desire to help their customers succeed and their ability to act on that desire. They know what to do and they know how to do it. Jack Welch said it this way: "One thing we've discovered with certainty is that anything we do that makes the customer more successful inevitably results in a financial return for us."
Common sense? Perhaps. Common practice? No. While many sales professionals easily buy into the idea of helping customers succeed, few are able to translate this idea into action. It takes more than skill and talent. Sales professionals who help their customers succeed put into practice 3 overarching principles that govern all they do, including how and when to apply key skills and talents. These principles are build trust, create value, and promote a meaningful flow of information. Ultimately, these 3 overarching principles, when acted upon, reinforce one another. The first principle is to build trust.
No doubt you've experienced success relying upon your knowledge and experience, coupled with your style and technique. A high degree of knowledge and skill is critical to success as a sales professional. Yet there may be a missing component: trust. Obviously, clients are more likely to buy from those that they trust. But trust isn't something we bring to a client the way we bring a brochure or a slide deck. Trust is the result of our intent. Is our intent to help our customers succeed, or is it to make the sale for our own advantage? Is it something we do to the customer, or something we do with them?
True or false? People or customers will assign you an intent whether you want them to or not. True, of course. Emerson wrote, "Who you are stands over and thunders, so I cannot hear what you say." Intent comes out. It comes out in your verbal and nonverbal communication, in your disposition and your demeanor, and in every aspect of your performance. And your intent has a big impact, not only on the questions you ask your customers, but also on the answers they give you. You can earn and build trust on purpose, and it works like this. Customers must believe that you have the expertise to develop and deliver a solution that meets their needs. They also need to feel comfortable, even safe, with you, certain that you have their best interest in mind. Or as one sales executive recently said to us, "I don't need another golfing buddy. I don't need another event to attend. I need someone who can create value."
A few months back, a sales leader said to his team, "People buy from people that they like." I thought, well, that makes some sense. I've certainly experienced that. And then this sales leader said, "Liking you, though, is not enough. Customers consistently buy from those that they really trust." I thought, well, of course. And then the sales leader concluded with something that really grabbed me. He said, "In today's economy, customers only buy from people who can create value." The second principle that guides the top performers who help customers succeed is create value. Let's start with this question. As you first walk in to meet with a customer, what is the inherent value of you and your solution? Often when I ask this question of sales professionals, they respond with, well, there must be some potential value. After all, we've helped thousands of customers before now. We have a great reputation, or other customers have referred us, so there must be some kind of potential value. And I usually say, well, of course there has to be potential value. Customers wouldn't meet with you, nor would you meet with them if you didn't believe there was some kind of potential value. But that's not the question I asked. What I asked was, is there inherent value? I propose there is no inherent value in us and our solutions. Solutions derive their value. They derive their value from either the problems that they solve or the results that they achieve. In fact, solutions have to solve problems that the customer really cares about or achieve results that the customer highly values. There also must be demonstrable proof or evidence of those problems or results. And the evidence needs to be significant enough to really impact them, to cause the customer to want to solve the problem or to achieve the result. A few weeks back, we were working with a client on a large proposal where they were rebidding on a current contract. The number one requirement the client wanted delivered in this proposal and in their work was greater innovation. So I asked the team, what does the client mean when they say they want greater innovation? They said, no, everyone knows what greater innovation means. I said, have you asked them what would let them know that our solution was in fact innovative? They said no. I asked them to go meet with the key decision maker. When they met with that client said, everyone knows what innovation means. It means you must hit the service level agreements that you've committed to. If you do, then we'll be successful. Can you believe that? Innovation was hitting service levels agreements? Who would have ever guessed that? And yet, by understanding that, they could write a completely different proposal. As you can see from that example, the top sales professionals know how to intelligently and comfortably explore problems, gather evidence, and produce measurable results.
The third principle of top sales performance is to promote a meaningful flow of information. The best yield of this principle is that these sales professionals don't necessarily go after a great number of opportunities. Rather, they go after high probability opportunities. Where in the buying cycle do you spend a higher percentage of your time?
What the top 5% of professional salespeople know is that world-class inquiry precedes world-class advocacy. The answer isn't to increase the number of deals we go after, it's to increase the probability of closing our deals and stop chasing low probability deals. That probability rises as we take the time to mutually explore with the customer their needs and how the solution might exactly meet those needs. Conversely, these successful sales professionals are able to use this same principle to weed out those opportunities where it wouldn't make sense to develop a solution, and weed them out before we or the customer drain too much time and resources. What if you identified that 30% of the opportunities your team was pursuing were low probability deals? What would you do? Well, you'd probably do what one of our clients did this year. That is, you'd stop pursuing them so that you could focus your time and energy on the higher probability opportunities. The way this client measured whether or not it was a low or a high probability opportunity was if they had influenced the requirements of the RFP before it hit the street. By making this simple change, their clients got a much better solution and win rates went up. Two very big accomplishments. This is where the three overarching principles really work together: trust, value, and the flow of meaningful information. Where there's a high degree of trust and ample flow of meaningful information, we are likely to produce a solution of value. When we have a credible record of producing value, customers trust us and we're more likely to gain meaningful information.
Do you want to win more? There's more to success than knowing just what to do. There's a science and an art to selling, the what and the how. The concepts, methodologies, and skills in FranklinCovey's Helping Clients Succeed can turn these principles into action.